Shalom, my name is Yehoshua ben Abraham, and I'm going to go as fast as I can. Shalom, President Barack Obama, the President of Notre Dame, Reverend John Jenkins, Judge John Noonan, the Latter addressee, and especially to Elizabeth Brennan Bowman, valedictorian, to all the university's faculty and students committee. Thank you, Shalom. I'm Yehoshua ben Abraham, formerly Michael O'Donnell, born and raised a Catholic until the age of bar mitzvah when I came home. Long story, another time. My letter is as follows. Shalom, my fellow Americans, family, and friends. Paragraph, I'm Yehoshua, formerly Michael F. O'Donnell, whose mother was Jewish, and so I return to my spiritual roots, and this explains, in part, why I'm writing Notre Dame about the President's speech. Thank you. Okay. To the community of Notre Dame, its leaders, teachers, students, and families, you are absolutely correct, underscored, on the issue of abortion in its essential and inviolable respect and commitment to the sanctity of life, as this is not an issue for mere fair-minded, quote-unquote, debate, as the President presented in error. This is sent to derive from the Bible's moral laws and ethics, not mere philosophy. Paragraph. The essence of his spin was the claim to resolve to the satisfaction of much of the seemingly paradoxical issues, while reassuring all that the resulting dilemmas were as well herein resolvable, while implicit in his message is the dialogic, quote, I'm reliably moral, and you can trust me, quote, in relation to what I say, parenthetically, on the issue of abortion, close regarding what you should say, quote, unquote, to one another, while this writing focuses on what we must say, quote, unquote. Thank you, John. And your blessed Judge John Noonan called this clearly to mind. Listen to him. He speaks the voice of adjuration to the President, underscored, respectfully and but firmly. And he's correct, underscored. As herein the truth will out, his words, paragraph, white space. President Obama is absolutely behind the moral curve on this issue, as in the final analysis he rationalizes is his support for abortion, while he wrongly, although with good intentions, sees the issue as requiring, among other things, a fair-minded, quote-unquote, debate, while it is to be noted that this position is inadequate morally, full stop. This is the Bernie Madoff equivalent of moral judgments, and so don't be misled. And do please check further and deeper and more comprehensively, and you'll not buy what he's selling. White space, paragraph. And so after listening to his dialogic, as we all did, and its exhaustive Catholic reference selling, in reduction it is a one-on-one rational approach as was/is his quote. Come, let us reason together, parenthetically, follow me, close parens, end quote. Full stop. Not let us together, underscored, reason, very different. Parenthetically, listen first and only to God, not man, close parens, full stop. The difference is cosmic, full stop. And contradictorily, even still, he could not manage a moral and science-based, coherent, convergent solution, one that is logical and that is empirically supported by the evidence, by taking the position that holds and sustains the higher moral ground, namely that abortion is morally wrong, forbidden, and contrary to natural and religious law, and as in respect of what God forbids, let no philosophy of man deny, not even a president. Let me say that again. As in respect of what God forbids, let no philosophy of man deny, not even an articulate president. White space, paragraph. President Obama's dialogic argues secular humanism and traditional spiritualism can and should converge and coexist on a cognitive dialogic, full stop. In this, we also agree, in theory, provided that the results of such reasoning is the truth that produces policy and programs that are correct and uniform in respect of life and that opposes abortion, full stop. Herein, the only exception is expertly confirmed existential danger to life, full stop. Herein, Jews, Christians, and Muslims agree, although not President Obama, full stop. Again, we see, as previously, that this is probably above his moral/ethical pay grade, quoted even today as president. I worked for his election, and I now also work for his moral and ethical growth and development as president and as a world leader, full stop. It is to be noted, he struck out twice at the G20, No original vision confirmed prescriptively, and the absence of a new economic prescription for all the G20, merely photo ops, white space, and a lot of nice talk, white space. In the Bible, we learn honor him but suspect him. I do. On this very issue, he warned us in the campaign and also in his speech in Notre Dame's 2009 commencement speech, quote, and you'll have to decide, quote unquote, who is correct and knows what they're talking about, end quote. That's what he said. You'll have to decide. Okay. And who does not know? Well, morally and ethically, he does not. And on this issue, he is absolutely wrong. And so I too invite you to take personal responsibility and choose between what John Noonan and I are saying and what the president has said and is saying, no matter the spin, full stop. If what I've herein, parenthetic, codiper, written, close friends, and John said is correct, then choose life and choose now and communicate this on the web and brand Humanomics' central organizing principle and its position and reject the president's support of abortion, its science, as has already come up. Sorry, correction. A central organized position and reject the president's support for abortion. It is wrong, and please do not delay, and do this now. And even on the issue of stem cell, science has already come up with a solution, making it virtually a non-issue. Paragraph. While, I think I'm out of time, while on abortion, the president is well intended, although he still morally is behind the curve, as his implicit claim that he is a believing Christian, we are, and I believe you should, remain unimpressed with. Even when he's claiming to have been persuaded by Catholic, Apostolic, and lay people in Chicago, the reference to the bishop, etc., of blessed memory became what appeared to be a screaming political reference, as was for us even less credible as overkill reference selling, as negates authentic spiritual authority. And so I advise all of you, don't buy this very slick White House crafted spin and sales pitch, quote unquote, as it is an empty bucket with large holes in the bottom, as the ultimate litmus test and thus proof is the position and policies of the man, not his rhetoric. Paragraph. As a spiritual leader of the Jewish people, which I am, this venue is derived only from closest to God, not political and or secular metrics of a populist personality, but rather from the actions of a life consistent with the closeness to God in listening and serving, as your most worthy spiritual leader can and will attest, as did the judge. In perspective, we learn women are on a higher spiritual level than men. And herein, it's to be noted, UC, University of California Merced, got the better and more spiritual commencement speaker than did Notre Dame, as we see. As well, I listened to Michelle's speech on a much higher spiritual level, indeed it was. My advice to Notre Dame's community is to respect the president, as he is the best of the worst of America's secular leaders, although never lose sight of the fact of who and what you are, and always be mindful that President Obama is not a spiritual leader, and absolutely be clear on this, as his record is as well clear. Look again and see that your own roots and its resulting moral compass is to be recognized for its blessings, to receive, underscore God's design and purpose in your life far better than Barack Obama. Thank you for listening. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov.